chairs. Last night we were spilling over the edges. How many of you were here last night? Oh my gosh, and you came back. Oh, good. So, for those of you who weren't here, my name is Janet DeJean-Newton. It's my privilege and honor to teach English, drama, and speech here at Plymouth High School. I think I've gone on 16 years now. Holy smokes. So the Amph-Rats started in 2006. We had a bunch of kids who just couldn't get enough of theater. And then a couple of years ago, I had a group that wanted to perform excessively. So we created these nighttime performances. Then a couple more years ago, I had a group, well, I guess it was closer to that, I had a group that just wanted to do this in the fall, and I didn't have the class during that time. So we started the independent study first semester. And these kids have just worked so hard. They do most of this on their own. We had a bunch that started probably 3 years ago. They did, let's see, The Butler Didn't Do It, which was a delightful piece, and it had multiple endings, and then they let the audience choose the ending of this murder mystery. Then I think we had Money, Nuts, and Mustaches of some sort a couple of years ago, and then we had Before the Glass Slipper last year, which was a really cute piece. So some of you have seen all these, yes. The delightful part of this process is the kids create this material knowing all of what has to go into a play. And then 2 years ago, Mr. Fike was talking about his creative writing class, or PAW, the Poetry and Writers Club, and thought, gosh, there needs to be a venue. There has to be some way for us to be able to let these kids share their work. And I said, let's do it together. So we paired up. This is our 3rd year now for the writers groups or the writers club to perform. And then I also had a couple of kids. Oh, they're not here tonight. No, there were some advanced speech kids who performed for us last night. So tonight we have a little mini piece, and I'll let Mr. Fike talk about it, the creative writing class. And he'll get into that. So we have 2 acts. We have the writing pieces that were original pieces from the kids. Then we'll take a little break and reset, and then the drama class will perform their piece. So I've babbled on enough. Mr. Fike, jump in and tell them about the first thing they're going to see.
Yeah, the first piece that you're going to see is by Justin Schmitz, and he's in my creative writing class. And we have opportunities for kids to be able to write memoir and be able to write poetry. And Justin came and said, you know, I don't really want to write a short story. I don't want to write fiction in sort of the traditional sense of let's create a short story, have it be looked at. And he said, well, can I do a play? And I know that Justin, I got to work with him a little bit in one act, and I know he's been down here since I think his first year, or the first day of school on when he was a freshman, he found a real niche within comedy sports, and just, he loves theater. So he decided to write a screenplay. This really gives him an opportunity to be able to share what he's wrote. It's one thing when you're in a class and you write it and the teacher reads it, or just that small class gets to read it, but for Justin, he now gets to share it with other people. And he gets to go and take that, and he can make changes, he can see how it plays out, and really he gets to see how it plays out compared to last night and today. He has 2 different audiences.
In fact, he was editing this afternoon, Mr. Fike. He was cutting.
They did a few things?
He was editing.
So his screenplay is Intelligence is a Virtue. And it's Justin and Elizabeth Balistreri and Connor McManus.
Oh, cast change. Connor had to play Pep Band, so we have Jake Wilford playing that part tonight. Sorry.
Well, that's the understudy.
And they're doing Reader's Theater style, so you will see script on the stage.
All right.
You ready?
Take it away, Justin.
How'd it go?
Progress.
He's ready to start moving forward?
Not quite that far, but closer. He has some concerns.
Concerns?
Yeah, well, it's pretty expensive.
Well, true enough, but the money for it is there.
And all of those buildings would be pretty heavy, too.
Why would that matter?
Well, he thinks that the island, it will tip over.
Tip over?
He thinks that if we try to build anything, the whole island will become so overly populated that it will become too heavy and tip over and capsize.
Tip over and capsize.
Yeah,
He thinks the island will...
yeah.
Couldn't you tell him that islands don't tip over?
I tried, but he just wouldn't believe me.
So he thinks the island will tip over. I can't believe this guy is our boss. If he didn't pay us like he did, I'd be out the door in a heartbeat. Well, what do we do now?
Well, I got him to move the plan forward.
How?
Well, no matter what I said to try to convince him that it wasn't a problem, he just wouldn't believe me. Eventually, I just said that as long as we didn't send too much, it wouldn't be a problem.
And that worked? Well, that's a start at least. It's entirely dependent on what he thinks is too much, though.
Well, he said he did some research of his own.
Really? He did research.
Well, he said that when he was out fishing the other day, he got a bunch of rocks from the shore. He wanted to figure out if the island would tip over if we put a bunch of weight on it, so he tried loading his fishing boat with a bunch of rocks.
Islands are boats.
In his world, they are. He tried building a little house out of rocks on the boat, but he was halfway through when it tipped over.
So as long as we don't put too much weight on it, it won't tip over.
Basically, it's the best that I could do.
Look, our jobs are resting on this, Scarlet. If he's not happy, we're gone.
He'll come through.
I hope. You tell the others?
I haven't. Got a good feeling about this, but I don't want to let anyone else know until it's on solid ground.
Well, what are you waiting for exactly?
Something more than I'll consider it.
That's all we have?
At least it's something.
Well, should I tell Aaron to start drawing up a contract?
Sure.
When are we going to bring it to him?
Give it a few days. I'll come with you.
A few days?
We should give him some time to mull it over and make sure this is really what he wants to do.
And what if he says no?
There's nothing we can do. There's no point in worrying about it now. Just leave it until tomorrow.
Right. Hopefully the last few weeks haven't been in vain. I'd really like to have that bonus, too.
He wants something else, too.
What does he want now?
He mentioned that he wanted a meteorite.
A meteorite? From space?
Yeah.
Well, that's not so bad. Can't we just buy him one? I'm sure we can find one for him somewhere.
No, he wants it to be his own, and it has to be a big one, too, not a space pebble.
What, does he just want it to fall out of the sky into his hands?
Basically.
How exactly does he want to catch his own meteor?
Well, as we were talking about the island, he told me, "You ever see how meteors always land in craters?"
And he thinks that if we dig
He says that he wants us to buy some land out in Montana.
Montana,
Somebody told him that the land was really cheap there.
Montana? Man, that's what, a few hundred miles away?
Closer to 1,000.
Oh, even better! Can't we just get some cheap land out here?
His word goes.
So, to clarify, he wants us to buy land out in Montana to catch meteors falling from the sky. What does he even want a meteor for?
I have no idea. He just said he wanted it.
And of course it needs to be his own meteor that he caught.
Yes.
Have you told him that's not how that works?
I've tried, but you know what he's like once he gets an idea in his head. I looked into land prices in Montana.
And?
10,000 acres for $10,000.
Oh, that's not bad at all. $10,000? Reasonable enough.
There's more. It comes with a goat farm.
A goat farm?
The listing says that the goats must be kept. The landowner wants to continue the family tradition or something like that.
You got any other leads?
None yet. He said we should have at least a few big craters to have a good chance at catching a meteor.
A big crater would be what, 200 feet? We're going to need a lot of land to fit all of these.
Digging that big of a hole isn't going to be easy either. What about an old quarry?
A quarry?
Well, if we can find a quarry and buy that, we should be in business. Cheap, unwanted land with a big hole pre-installed.
Oh, well, that'd be perfect.
I don't know where we can find a quarry to buy, though.
Well, I guess you're going to have to get on that.
Very funny, Tyler. This is your job as well as mine. Don't try to pass this on to me.
Right. We need to work as a team.
The thing is, he wants us to dig these holes ourselves.
Oh, of course he does. And I'm sure there's a special way he wants us to do it, too.
How'd you guess?
Well, of course he wants his own hole dug.
Well, that's just what he wants.
Well, what can we do for the meteorite itself?
Aaron is commissioning a guy from some guy in Yugoslavia. It should be here in a few weeks.
Good. He has contacts in Yugoslavia?
He had an internship there when he was in college. Anyway, assuming we can find an old quarry to buy, we might be able to wrap this whole thing up by Christmas.
Christmas? That's not so bad. What's the backup plan?
Have we ever bothered with a backup plan?
Well, no.
Then why should today be any different? I'll see you at lunch. returning my call. I was just calling about that land at the quarry you had for sale. Yes, out in Montana. Yeah, the 3,500 acres with the quarries. 4 million? Thank you. I'll get back to you on that. Bye now. This is hopeless.
Any luck?
None.
Weren't there a few thousand acres out in Montana?
$4 million.
4 million for that place.
Yeah, there are even a bunch of big quarries on it too. $4 million.
You get any other leads?
Nothing really worthwhile. I found one lot with 500 acres for 20,000, but
There's no quarry there. We still have a week until Christmas. We'll find something.
well, I'm not that optimistic anymore, Tyler. I mean, we only have a week.
Well, is the model here at least?
It's been a few weeks, and Aaron said it should be getting here any day.
Well, at least we have something.
In other news, construction is set to begin on the island next week.
Finally. I'm glad he's finally come around. I can't believe he really thought that that island was...
I have news.
News?
What's going on?
Our meteorite is gone.
What?
You lost our meteorite?
The guy was a sham.
A sham.
I think. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it after I sent the money over. He said it was going to be here early last week.
You're saying he scammed us?
Well, I don't want to say it, but I think he did. I stayed at this guy's house for a week during my internship. I thought we could trust him.
Aaron, how much did we just lose?
$375.
And you didn't think to tell us before now?
He said that once I sent the money, it'd be getting here in a few weeks.
How long ago was that? Could it still be on its way?
Well, I ordered it a month and a half ago. It should be here by now.
I mean, maybe it's stuck in shipping?
I haven't gotten anything from him since I sent the money. It could still be in shipping, but we can't wait forever.
Can't we just bump this into the new year? Wait a little bit longer?
Well, I just don't think we have time. When I was at lunch with him earlier today, he said he was counting down the days until Christmas, when his meteorite would come flying in.
Who told him? You?
I'm sorry.
You're sorry.
I mean, he was really excited and wanted to know when we'd be catching it, so I just told him one should be coming in on Christmas.
You told him it'd be coming in on Christmas.
Tyler, stop fighting! There's no point in arguing about it.
Scarlet!
That's him. I'll be back.
Well, Aaron, what do we do now?
I don't know. I can't find anyone else to make it fake.
Can't you just look in the phone book or something?
Look, I've gone through both this year's and last year's yellow pages, but nothing's coming up.
You're actually looking in the phone book for this.
Tyler, do you have another idea?
Well, what about a private collector? An auction? Somebody's got to have one.
You think a private collector will have a cheap fake meteorite for us to buy?
Well, why not a real one?
There's not nearly enough money in the budget for that.
How much?
For one he wants, like 5,000?
What's in the budget?
Well, now just over 600.
$600. Can we get any more?
Well, he didn't like paying 1,000 for miscellaneous expenses.
And if we're asking for even more for no clear reason, he's going to be very apprehensive.
Exactly. We have no choice but to try to find a replica.
How much did you say the replica was?
350, but that was in Yugoslavia. It'll be at least twice that here.
350, at least 700. We only have 650, 50 short.
Good news.
Good news?
I got the land locked down in Montana.
Scarlett, that's fantastic.
What was the final price?
It got it for just over $10,000.
10,000. Scarlett, how much was budgeted?
20. I was going to take the extra money.
Aaron, how much did you say a meteorite was?
5,000?
What if the land was 15,000?
You're not saying that we...
I just don't see what other options we have. I mean, what else can we do?
We're lying to him.
I just don't think we can do anything else.
This is tough.
Well, what choice do we have?
Well, I'll go buy the meteorite. There's an auction going on next week, Tuesday.
Well, shouldn't we wait a bit longer?
We just don't have any more time. He also mentioned that he was really looking forward to watching it come in.
He wants to watch it too?
That's what he said.
Scarlett!
I'm sorry.
You're sorry!
What was I supposed to say?
Maybe it'd burn his eyes out or something? I don't know!
Tyler, stop it. We can't change what happened, so there's no point in arguing about it. What can you do?
I have an idea.
What is it?
What if we just threw the meteorite in the hole and launched off some fireworks and called it a day?
Tyler, are you being serious?
At first I wasn't, but the more I think about it, the more it seems like it'll work out.
You really think he'll buy it?
Hey, remember who we're dealing with here. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Scarlett, you know him better than anybody. What do you think?
I mean, it'll probably work, but I'm not making any guarantees.
I think we can work with that.
next reader is Teo Kuda. She's part of Poets and Writers, or PAW, that meets every Tuesday during advisory. It's a group of students who get together and they just simply share their writing with each other, and it's just a lot of fun. So, Teo.
I just want to mention quick, Justin created that play based on an actual quote that the individual really thought an island would flip over. And this was someone who was supposed to be, you know who it was?
I can't remember who it is. It's somebody who's pretty high up within
Yeah.
one of the country's government.
What intrigued him. So I just want to make sure you got that. That you guys knew that that's what inspired me. Okay, Taya, sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder, sweetheart. Get out there.
So basically, I really like typewriters, and I also have a weird thing with inanimate objects where I feel like if I'm going to write something on a typewriter, I should write something really good because the typewriter deserves to have something really great written on it, right? So I found this typewriter in my uncle's house, and I was like, oh, what do I write on this? It's beautiful. And that's what this poem is about. It's haphazardly titled, In the Guest Room of My Uncle's House. Staring at a new typewriter, I am enveloped by this blank page, daunted by the task of finding the perfect words. Minutes pass. The keys tempt my fingertips. Should I write of you? Of how you flew into my world like the scent of rain on the wind and took my heart just as easily? It seems these days you are as readily woven into my fingertips as frequently as you wisp across my mind. But you have told me you cannot be my motivation for everything, and although you never were, I am struck too deeply by your image of me now to write of you. Perhaps I could write of a boy I once knew, his hair raven black and golden as a sunlit cloud. I could write of how he bounces down the sidewalk and finds his own reason to beat toward the sun. But my words are dust on the soles of his shoes, and I dare not try to rise above them. The blank page calling, the keys too overwhelming, I reach out to tap one. I don't recall which, but it doesn't really matter. The ink ribbon is dry. Go figure.
And our last reader is a senior. It's Teresa Schramm. She'll be reading a poem that she ended up writing last spring in a creative writing class. And then she's part of Mrs. Newton's advanced speech class right now. So take it away, Teresa.
So, like Mr. Pike said, I wrote this last semester in his creative writing class, and it's a piece for coaches. To the coaches who have underestimated me, I say this in the kindest way possible. Screw you. Screw you for making me feel inadequate as I was just starting out in a sport. Your underlying discouragement did not go unnoticed. And as I pushed through and worked forward to improve, you did everything but acknowledge my work ethic. I'm sorry I did not come here with the last name you wanted and that I don't clear 6 feet. But that does not make me uncoachable. And in all these years, your underestimation has only pushed me further. You still have your favorites, but you know I am working twice as hard. No longer can you convince me that I am not good enough, or that I can't keep up with the speed of the game. You've seen the proof in the words of my other coaches and in fast-tempo club games. You can no longer turn a blind eye, and we both realize this. So maybe it's time to turn to the positives your note has given me. So therefore, thank you. Thank you for your disbelief in me. It is the biggest motivator I have in improving myself. Thank you for not giving me a chance, let alone a second thought. It has taught me that life will hand you nothing, and most of the time it is better to work harder than you thought was possible. Thank you for making me feel worthless and handing me my first heartbreak. This has taught me the importance of self-reliance. But most of all, thank you for forcing me to prove to myself what I am capable of. It's bittersweet what you have forced me through. But through all my anger, you deserve a small thanks. And I hope it hits you blaringly in the face that your lack of faith in me is what pushes me to exceed expectations.
So last night we had probably 3 or 4 more readers, and the actors are scrambling, so just stand by. I do want to fill you in on a couple of tidbits. The independent study group does not get to meet
at any specific time. There are, 15 of them, and they meet at 3 different times during the day. So they have actually been here at 6 o'clock in the morning the last several days and last week. They have come in on weekends. They have come in after rehearsals, like at 8 or 9 o'clock to put this together. And it's always a challenge. The goal, of course, is to create a performance piece that has the classic elements of theater, which is a beginning, and a middle, and an end. There has to be a setting, there has to be characters, there has to be conflict, there has to be a climactic moment, and then they have to all agree. I don't get involved too much. I just kind of keep my ears open and make sure that they're on the right track. And then I hear these wonderful discussions about how can the actor justify this? What's the backstory? What's the history of this? That doesn't make any sense. We have to make this all work. And so they came up with this storyline for this particular piece almost right away. Unlike the classes previously, they would argue up until the day they performed. Who's in here? I have some alumni. Yes, I know. Yes. You would argue up until the day they performed. And the alumni commented after last night, you were saying that you felt this is one of the stronger pieces in terms of character development because they had the time to build the characters because they had settled on the plot and weren't arguing about it from the very up until the day before. So this piece, of course, is called Dead and Breakfast. Murder mystery, indeed. And the kids have done everything. They put together the set, they pull things we have, they take whatever paints around, and this is their show. They also, Delaney Scadella has pulled together all the costuming and has put together some rather special makeup, which you will see. Jordan Lemibayo has put together the artwork. He did that. They have argued with each other perpetually, but one of them always takes charge. Elizabeth Balistreri is really good at that. She keeps them on task. And then the rest of them, they seem to come through, ready or not. Okay, everybody come on. Good. Glad you bitch. Please come in after. Pep band's over. Yay. Now we can hear. Come in. There you go. There's some seats down here. How are they doing, sweetie? Almost. You will understand this makeup situation. So, oh, by the way, Justin's play that he just did, he came to me last week and he said, Mr. Fike said I should do my play. And I said, okay, how about next week? So they put that together in just that period of time. And then they rehearsed that on their own. So they're pretty dynamic kids. They can always follow through. So, what do you think? Are we there? Are we there yet?
Like we're good.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Maybe not. Hold on.
Nope, wait.
And then afterwards, we usually have a talk back with the audience because the kids would like to get your feedback. Last night they had some comments that they hope to work with tonight. And as you know, or some of you know, when we put this together, yes, there's a structure. Yes, there's they know what they have to say, when they have to say it most of the time. But there's also room for improvisation. So you never quite know. They know they're not supposed to cross their boundaries too far. So I hope they behave themselves. And again, those of you who came last night, it'll be fun for you to see the difference between the two. Okay. How are we doing?
I think we are good.
Okay, good. Close your curtain over here.
Hello? Yes, this is the gardener. Yes, I'm calling again. Where am I? The Robin's Inn. Somebody died. Yes, again. What? No. Well, love you. Bye.
Did you hear about the murder in room 13?
I did, and get this, her name is Clairvoyance.
What's your name?
Well, it's nice to have some company. It can get awfully boring around here.
And lonely.
When I went upstairs, I heard a scream and then I saw her on the floor lying lifeless. It was right upstairs, room 13, to your left.
Oh, you must be Clara. How are you adjusting?
Well, considering I'm dead, not very well. So basically, you're telling me that we were all murdered?
Yeah, Chastity and I here checked in at 8 p.m. on Saturday night.
We didn't exactly check in. We had a bit of an appointment with a client.
Yeah, the gardener had a bit of a kink in his hose.
Had to help him with the dry spell, if you know what I mean.
But then we got distracted by the chef's baguette.
Oh, the chef's baguette. And then was being strangled. Now we're here.
That's where I came in. I'm Amelia. I came to investigate Chastity and Primrose's case.
Well, obviously you're not a very good investigator.
And I got a fork in the eye.
That's unrelated.
So we're all stuck here forever?
Oh, it's not all bad. We can have some fun.
Heavens to Betsy!
Oh!
Go in. Follow. We must search for clues. Nothing
Possible clue could be there.
Maybe under these plants? Nope.
Maybe you could check the phone logs?
Maybe you should check the phone logs.
I should check the phone logs. Follow, Froby, follow. 10:04, Mr. Robinson, no. 10, no. 12:02 a.m., the gardener. He was very close to the murder, wouldn't you say?
Had to have been to make that call.
Mark that down. Mark my suspicion.
Maybe
Behind the
start
counter.
interviews.
Froby, we should start the interviews.
I will call him the owner. Mr. and Mrs. Robinson, could you please come in here?
Yes?
Please have a seat, miss. Thank you. Now, could I get your full names for my records?
I'm Harvey, and this is my wife, Sandra.
But people call me Sandy.
Sandy Robinson. Robin's Inn. Suspicious! And how long have you both owned the bed and breakfast?
Well, it's been in my family for 3 generations. My father passed it down to me when he passed away.
That's wonderful. And where were you both at 12:02 a.m. on Monday night?
I was in the kitchen.
Roby, did you hear something? Neither. What's that?
I was on the other side of the hotel working on Monday night paperwork.
Convenient. Convenient, very convenient. And has there been any suspicious activity such as murder, death, disappearance, paranormal activity?
Yeah, I wouldn't call this, a disappearance. We had another chef, you see. His name was Gustav. Wonderful chef, made delicious breakfast. And one day, it must have been the kitchen stress because one day he was gone. Never saw him again. Left his favorite spatula behind.
Oh, what a shame. Wonderful. And who else do you have on staff at the inn?
We have a chef.
Yes.
Chef?
We have the gardener who's working out back right now, I would assume.
Gardener? Anyone else?
No.
That's it?
Yes.
You have 4. 4 people to run an inn.
Yes.
It is a small inn.
It's a little short-staffed, wouldn't you?
Look here. Don't tell me how to run an inn. Thank you very much.
Roby, I'm aggravated. Mark down my aggravation. I think that's all we have for you, Will.
Well, I have one more question. Has there any guests that have disappeared or anything else?
There's been quite a few guests, I guess, that have checked in, but never checked out.
And you never thought to mention this or thought of it as suspicious?
We had an investigator.
Yeah, she was, she was a lot like you. I hated her.
Well, I hate you too, sir. That must have been Amelia. I never liked her.
Same.
Horrible. Horrible detective. Is that all we have? Do you have anything else, Proby, you'd like to add?
No, I believe that's it.
That's the right answer.
Well, there are some cookies in the kitchen if you'd like some.
Whoa, those are my cookies.
Not anymore. You see, I have my gun somewhere. Let me find it.
You know, Amelia, Investigator Gordon isn't getting that far in the case.
I'm sure it's nothing to worry about, Chastity. Sometimes the interviews can just take a while. Of course, back in my day, it's much better than he is now.
If you say so.
So you're telling me even though I'm dead, I still get a moon cycle?
Mr. Chef, is it?
Yes.
Chef?
Yes.
Chef.
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 I think we're on the same page, Proby. So, Mr. Chef,
Chef.
how long have you worked at the Robbins Inn?
Well, according to my parents, approximately since birth.
Since birth?
Yeah, you know, I was conceived in the kitchen and all that.
Born in the kitchen?
Yeah.
You live in the kitchen?
Yeah.
You pee-pee and poo-poo in the kitchen?
Well, not exactly. I have a little corner off to the side.
Seems very unsanitary, wouldn't you say?
Let me tell you that our sanitation here is best in the country. Can't beat it.
I'm gonna pretend that I didn't see that.
Would you
Proby.
like to try some?
I would not like to try that hairy blueberry, no thank you.
5-second rule.
Probably remind me to never eat here ever.
I'll mark that down and I'll remind you to call the inspector.
The health inspector?
The health inspector.
That's a
He's
good idea.
updated.
Are you quite finished?
No.
Why don't you just leave?
Okay.
Do you know Miss Clairvoyance?
I've never heard of that man before.
It's a woman. Do you know a man named Clara?
I do not.
I do not.
I mean, it's 1952. Anything's possible, am I right?
Moving on. So, do I even need to ask you where you were at 12:02 a.m. on Monday night?
Nope.
The kitchen? Precisely. Market. And I understand a couple years back there was an ordeal with an assistant chef, is it?
Oh, you mean Gustav?
Yes.
Yes, he's dead. I killed him. I mean, no. No, it's very rude to interrupt. Nothing for you. Okay. So, I was saying Gustav was eating his soup with a fork, which was to die for. Yes, that's what it is. Yes.
I understand now.
Okay, good.
Pieces together.
Oh, about that, I have a really cool story.
Wonderful.
Oh, you lying meatloaf! I didn't just run off like he says I did. No. I was murdered by you. This is how I will tell you. It was a beautiful Saturday. A bird flying in the sky. And then he found out that I liked Sandy, the owner. So he's like, hey, let's get him out of the picture so I can love Sandy by myself. So, it comes to our tradition day. It is the fork in the garbage disposal. Yes, that means we take a fork, we put it in the garbage disposal, turn it on, and then ding, 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 ding. The fork makes a bunch of goofy noises. Oh, it's a blast. Then he decides to activate his plan or whatever, and decides to turn the garbage disposal to high power, and then Ding, 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 ding. Right in my eye. And I saw it coming.
And that was my time at the sock hop.
I'm gonna try really hard to forget that.
Probably, I think my ears are bleeding. I think that's all we have.
I think we should check the kitchen.
For more clues.
You don't want to go in there.
You really don't.
It's for your own health.
Probably let's go.
I warned you.
But he scratches himself with his spoon.
Holy croissant, that was close. They almost found out that I killed Gustav. I didn't mean to do it. Well, I kind of did, though. He was flirting with my woman. I couldn't just take that. So I had to do something. Anyway, it was a mess to clean up. Very heavy body, blood, guts. And yeah, just threw him in the dumpster. And everyone assumed that he left, so I went with it.
Did you just call me fat? Oh, just ever since I've known you, you've been a pain in my... First, you take Sandy away from me, you steal all my recipes, which taste like poop. I gotta get him back. We steal energy, right?
Oh, boy, it's getting cold in here. Someone must have left the window open or something. My nipples could cut diamonds. I must have put too much sriracha in my scrambled eggs.
What can I throw at him? Ooh. I gotta have something in here. Banana.
Was that you, Harvey? Banana! I can use this banana to my latest dish. Banana cookie! Yes.
You can't mix banana with cookies! I gotta give him something else. Oh, caramel sauce. Add sweetness, more sugar to the cookie. Ugh.
Is that you, Harvey? I swear! Caramel sauce and banana. I can make caramel banana cookies. Yes, I will make caramel banana cookie.
They still don't mix! They still don't mix! Oh! Stop!
What the? That's something Gustav would have done. Good thing he's dead. Wait! I need flour for my cookie.
Don't use that flour.
What are you doing? I also have my flowers, you idiot. But I need flour for my cookie.
Not this kind of flour, you
Fool! I'll let you have a cookie if you want. I need flour. What? No! My flowers! You killed them all!
Always make such a mess of their house. I think we need to help out Investigator Gordon. He's not getting anywhere with his interviews.
You know, you're right, because we were the only ones that were actually at the murder, so one of us must know something. I mean, I was hit in the back of the head, so I have an excuse, but one of you imbeciles must know something.
I was drinking my morning coffee and tasted cyanide. I didn't see anyone.
I got a fork in the eye.
Well, I did see the gardener putting a hose around her neck, but I didn't think that was important.
What?
I did hear something. When I was being strangled, he said,
I am the gardener.
questions quick, please?
Oh, yes, sure. Just a second.
Yes.
What do you mean?
We'd like to discuss a murder with you that happened recently. First of all, can I get your full name for my records?
The gardener.
No, the name on your birth certificate?
Yes, the. Just a second. I have to line it up here somewhere. Interesting. That is a baguette for the birth certificate. Maybe, right? Oh! It is actually just lying around here.
How convenient. Suspicious, Margaret. What do you know? The gardener. Was born to Lily and Lee Gardner. Oh, it looks fine, Troby. I'm just going to move on. How long have you worked at the bed and breakfast, Miss
Ever since my father died. Oh! My father was a great man. With a long, luxurious beard. Oh, the likes of which had never been seen before. Whenever he went out into his garden, it would flow in the wind, much like your hair would. Oh, that's disgusting. He would go out in the garden every morning, and he would look down at his flowers, and they would be very nice to him. They'd look up at him with their big, shining, red faces, and be like, hello there, you are very nice looking today. He would look down at them and he'd say, yes, I do. But one day, he brought his rake and he went out into the garden to plant a couple of bulbs. He went down onto the ground, and he planted his little bulb, and it was so perfect. It wasn't that right, Father? Yes, it was. Planted it, and he watered it, and he cared for that bulb. But when he went to rake the dirt back over it, he stepped on it and crushed the life out of it. He could not carry it. He could not carry on. So he picked up his rake, and he stabbed himself on the chest. As he lied there, his blood watering the bulb, his poor child, he ran out to his poor dying father, saw him lying there on the ground. Father, why did you do this? It was the only way. Oh. But Father, it was just a tulip. No, thee, it was your future. Oh. But Dad, you didn't have to go like this. It's okay. And with those last words, my father died.
Oh, I see. The picture flipped over. It means he's dead. Yes, that's what that is. That was touching. My heart is broken in 1,000 places.
Try not to cry again.
Do you know Miss Clairvoyance?
Clairvoyance. That woman is a disgrace to the gardening profession.
So anger, Mark Anger.
Every morning she would go out into my garden, and she would look at all the pretty little flowers, and she would pick them. Oh! She would pick them from the ground, and she would decapitate them, and she would take their skulls. She would put them into her hair. Tell me, Inspector, what kind of sadist puts their victims in their hair?
So from that I
Toby, he's
gather...
touching me. Toby, get him off!
Oh, I'm sorry.
So from that I gather that she picked a flower and put it in her hair, as innocent as that can be.
Yes.
Interesting.
Well, unfortunately, I know you will be just heartbroken by this. She died. Where were you the night of Monday at 12:02 a.m.?
Oh, I was killing her. I was killing time.
Wait.
I was in the garden. He was in the garden. He was in the garden.
No,
Farewell. We're not
done here.
What? I'm done here. Farewell. You can contact me with this phone.
Sir, wait, no, sir! Probably no one ever listens to me. Not even you. I saw you playing tic-tac-toe that whole time.
I lost.
How do you lose? If anything, you should tie. I wonder about you sometimes, Toby.
I wonder about you. So we should look over our evidence and see what we have gathered so far.
Since you haven't been taking any notes, I'll just review mine. So the owners couldn't have done it. It's bad for business. They have no motive.
Of course.
The chef, well, his assistant died a couple years back. I think he killed him, but it's still unclear. He makes the worst food ever. I could imagine that he died just from consumption. That leaves only one person, Toby. The murderer must be...
Wait! Johnny's here.
Who on earth is Johnny?
My leg! Here's Johnny!
You want music for this?
Sir?
Sir,
Sir, please pay attention, sir. Sir, please, no.
we have some questions.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight? That looks like a beer bottle. Is that a beer bottle? Roby, I haven't been drinking.
You
in a
should
long
take it.
time. Roby, it's marked out intoxication.
I'll write that down.
Okay. Now, give me that. There we go. Put that down right there. Moving on.
Could you please sit down?
What are you doing? What are you doing? Did he just pull that out of where I think he pulled that out of? I should. Oh, I don't want to touch it. Okay. No. How did you keep the cap? Is there anything else?
Sir!
Is that a teacup? Where did you get a teacup? Was that in your hat? I swear, you can't even drink from that. You'll hurt yourself. Did we search him when... He has a weapon?
Do not cut yourself.
I'm going to make a quick grab for the... Thank you. Are we done here? Or do you have one more? Oh, wait. I should wait. Let's see. Nope, nothing? Okay. Let's move on. And could you have a seat? Roby, I'm aggravated again. Mark it.
Marked.
Hurry up. Sir, do I even need to ask you where you were tonight or any other night of the week?
Well, you see, I was at the Brown Bottle.
Oh. Brown bottle? Are you literally just saying what's in your hand? Because I don't know. Do you know of a brown bottle around here?
I do not. There is none.
You raging alcoholic. So, you were at the bar probably all of the nights of the week. Do you know Miss Clairvoyance by any chance? Johnny, is it?
We bisect the triangle on occasion.
Oh, so you're very close.
Of sorts.
Of sorts. Wonderful. And, where were you, Proby? I'm losing, did you write my notes? Did you write? You screwed up my notes again.
I'm sure I did not.
You always screw them up. I'm very aggravated with you. Proby,
We talked about the
frustrate me. The murder.
The murder.
No, yes. Clara's dead. I thought I told you.
You don't need.
There's a grief.
What is going on?
Since when we were in a musical?
There's a pain. Goes on and on.
Should I stop this?
Empty chairs.
I would bother.
Empty tables. Where my wife will be no more.
Johnny!
Sir, could you please have a seat?
Please sit down and.
I'll let you keep the drink if you sit. Just sit. Sir, how did you not...
Now that was uncalled for.
Sir, there's nothing there. Maybe it's the alcohol in my eyes! But I don't see anything over there. You're pointing at nothing.
You know what? I'm just gonna go.
I think he's not done.
John,
another.
Sir,
No, maybe we should just trap the gardener. But how?
I've got it. What if we dug a hole in the middle of the inn and then put a net over it so when the gardener walks in, he dies?
No.
What if we set a trap? Like an animal trap, but for a human?
No.
I've got it! What if we take a big box and slowly lower it onto the gardener?
No.
I've got it! What if we take a really large box and lower it down from the ceiling onto the gardener?
I just said that.
Stella! I got it! We use a banana peel!
everyone, gather. I have solved the case. Oh, those stairs. Watch it, Roby. Those are slippery. Yeah. After a long and thorough case that I alone worked on by myself because Troby was eating half the time, I have discovered the murderer. It must be none other than the, Troby, I'm not good with faces. Is that it?
This is what you get for touching my roses. Oh, Father!
So I missed you. Roby, throw your banana. Find him. Good toss, Roby. No. Ha ha. It was a gardener. He did it. I saw the case. You have the right to remain silent. Is this how you do it? Silent. Wait, that's not till 1966, Miranda. Just keep it like that. Don't move.
I want to touch my head, my friend.
You don't move. Police? Police? Call the police. What is your...
Right on time.
Only sand.
How many affairs does your wife have?
And thus, this is the story of the great Robin's Inn. Now, let's see where they are now. Sandy and Harvey continued welcoming guests at the Robin's Inn for over 60 years, and in fact, in 2015 were awarded the TripAdvisor Best in Class Award for rates that cost less than $20 a night. Now, Chastity and Primrose, their two most beloved guests, showed these guests a good time and provided the nightly entertainment. This chef continued his pattern of bad sanitation practices until 1962, when he was introduced to the great wonder of germ theory. And then he decided that hand washing was in fact an acceptable hobby. A warm hand for the chef for hand washing. His new career as a major league eater/food critic, and would review the food items, but only the ones that weighed more than 10 pounds. Jordan always came back to the end, for he found he did his best work there for some strange reason. He felt like something was whispering in his ear. Johnny continued being able to see and interact with Clara. Apparently they had some interesting side hobbies. The got the ending that all true villains deserve, finding their true hobby, playing the harmonica. Stop! That's enough! They brought this hobby along with them to federal prison, where they were killed on the second night by their cellmate.
What? Come on!
And as for me, well, musicians never get any real credit. Decomposing pianist. Because I tried too hard. And I died.
Other comments or questions for them? Sweet, yes, my dear.
I just want to say, I thought that having like the red accessories, like how you died, I thought that was really clever.
Yeah, did you guys catch that? Oh yes, each dead person indicated where he or she died with a little bit of red. Thank you, Delaney. Delaney put together the costumes for all of it, and she also experimented with the dead makeup. Looks pretty cool, huh? Very nice. And let's see, and Jordan, Jordan, yes, I do. Jordan, you did the artwork, yes? Yes? Yes. Each one of you introduce yourselves from the end and tell us what grade you're in.
I'm Megan Carvin, I'm a senior.
I'm Justin Schmitz, I'm a junior.
Nick Pohl, and I'm a senior.
Jordan Levy-Bell, senior. Jake Williford, senior.
Conrad McManus, freshman.
Only in height. Elizabeth Ballesteri, senior.
I'm Emily Levine, I'm a junior. I'm Jillian Myers, and I'm a senior.
I'm Tanner Gonzalez, and I'm a senior.
Eric Roman, senior.
Quinn Zwick, junior.
Alan Schaefer, senior.
Yes, thank you. We have a whole group, one of the seniors who will be losing, but we still have another semester to go yet, and juniors, and it's just been a delight to work with all of them, and they came up with this by themselves. You have something, Elizabeth, what you say to them? See? That's just my face. And Elizabeth was one who cracked the whip, kept getting everybody together, as well as Delaney did that a lot. But they did work well together and only argued a little bit and came up with this whole piece. Any other questions or comments for them? Yes, ma'am?
Well, I just wonder if you, first of all, do you just sit down and kind of come up with each other's pieces and then act them out, or what is kind of the...
Well, we have a whiteboard that we start with, and we write Don Fluvel in it, and then we try to get characters for everyone, and then it's just kind of like meshing everyone together into one storyline. And this year we focused a lot on like developing our characters, like we all know like the entire backstory of each of our characters, which really helps a lot when you're putting the scenes together. like how they would react, and then we just work through all the scenes.
But it was original, right?
Oh, yes.
Every word of it, so.
And they did some research. Justin looked at silent movie music, right, sweetie? Yeah. And then they watched some of that, and so they were trying to do a little bit of stylistic adaptation of that, or a satirical version of that. And then they also, just the whole genre, if you guys chose this, I say, here, go play, and they could come up with anything. We've had melodramas, we've had whodunits, and they seem to enjoy this whole murder mystery kind of thing. And it was a really fun piece to stage. It looked really pretty, very nice.
Lots of things didn't even develop until like almost towards the end. Like I know Connor did the thing with Eric at the same time. They do the same thing, but they talk about different things. That was like towards the end when we were close to forming.
That was what, like Monday?
And Connor spitting in your face.
And Connor, that was unexpected the first time.
That was Tuesday.
We used the beginning drama class on Monday as kind of a first audience, and Monday was the first time you ever did it when you didn't stop for that class?
That was Tuesday.
Was it Tuesday?
That was Tuesday.
Oh my gosh.
Monday.
Okay. I thought it was Monday.
Monday, Tuesday.
So because they have so many ideas, how many of you suddenly when you run a scene stop and go, oh this would be cool, oh this would be cool, oh this would be cool.
Well, we just had to do it.
And they would never get done. Never get done. So, thank you, You're hungry, sweetheart.
It's like what?
And they're also a group of incredibly talented individuals who have performed many times over. And there's no way, it would be difficult for students who didn't have experience to come in and do this. So that's why this is indeed the Advanced Independent Study Acting Company. As you can see, they never stop acting, right? Any other questions for them? Yes, ma'am.
I was going to ask how much of it was written hard, memorized dialogue, and how much of it was just pure improvising based on the character that you are?
I don't know, how many times did you mess up? I had scripted questions, but like off of what they would say. Off of what they would say, we would kind of improv it.
Like, a lot of it, we just had like a Google Doc, so we had an outline basically of what had to happen and cue lines, so we knew what was happening. Like, all of his questions I had to write for him because, you know, he's him. But, like,
I'm competent.
basically. But like, it's basically just an outline of the script, and then we know where we need to go with each scene, and as we go through it, we kind of repeat the same things, and that's how we kind of decide what stays and what goes.
And the basics of any theatrical performance, as I said before, beginning, middle, and end, there has to be a conflict, and each little mini scene has to have a beginning, middle, and end. It's a great idea to come up with ideas, but trying to put them into that block is sometimes hard. It's how do you end this? There has to be a way to have a resolution. That can sometimes be the most challenging part of all these brilliant ideas. And I heard some things come out of your mouths tonight that I had never heard before. So there is room for improvisation within the structure. And they behave themselves for the most part, yes. Yes, I know. Less is more, Connor. Any other questions or comments for them? Yes, ma'am, sir.
I'm not 100% sure there were actually garbage disposals in the 1950s.
There were I realized that might have not existed at that point, so we Googled it, and they did in fact exist.
From Waukesha or Racine?
Yeah, it
something Hamas.
It was Racine.
And it's something Hamas because the same last name as Paul.
Yeah. I also couldn't say disco because the disco wasn't invented, so I had to say sock hop.
Miranda Rights, yeah, I said it, and then we found out it was 1966.
We just continued with it.
We just continued.
So good question, but and they do. They know they have to be able to justify their choices out here. They really do. Any other questions or thoughts or comments? So yes, sir.
Is in the club, is he supposed to be like a hobo or something?
Well, we're married, but I guess he kind of is.
But I do want to thank you, the audience, and your peers and parents. Thank you so much for, hey, you're upstaging me. Be quiet. I would like to thank everyone for supporting these kids and getting them them here early and tolerating their crazy schedules. They're a sweet bunch, and the community, that's why they do so well, because you support them, and as we had, as you heard, Pep Band, we have so many talented kids here, and we have so many venues, which is awesome. In fact, how many of you are in show choir competing tomorrow? Woo! Yes, yes, there's a big competition tomorrow. How many of you out there are going tomorrow? Yes? Audience members? Very good, thank you. So they're constantly busy, and that's our goal here in Plymouth, is to get everybody a chance to be involved. So any other questions or comments? Sweet. Well, please visit with them for a few minutes, and then we're going to strike.